Clerk, read the orders.
Orders of the day, today, Wednesday, 25th June 2025 at 2:30 p.m. The supplementary order paper. Order number 1, administration of oath.
Next order.
Order number 2, communication from the chair.
Next order.
Order number 3, messages.
Next order.
Order number 4, petitions.
Next order.
Order number 5, papers.
Leader of the majority party. To lay papers.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to lay the following paper on the floor of the House. The second report of the Committee on Selection on the Harmonization of Assembly Committee Membership, 2025. I lay.
Chairperson Committee on Gender, Environment. Chairperson Committee on Gender, Children, and Youth Sports. To lay a paper. Honorable members, we have two order papers. There's a substantive order paper and a supplementary order paper. And therefore, we transact business from both order papers, the main order paper and the supplementary order paper. Chairperson Committee on Gender, to lay a paper. Chair. Chairperson Committee on Gender, to lay a paper on Makueni County Social Protection Policy. Chairperson Committee on Environment and Climate Change, Table Committee report on Mangaleta Wetland Ecosystem report. Environment.
So, Honorable Speaker, we are not ready. I wish we can do that on Monday next week.
Chairperson, I endeavor to do that. I hope your commitment is on record.
We will.
Clerk, take note of that, indicate in the order paper, next week on Monday. Chairperson Committee on Gender. Don't look for a business that you have not transacted. Do you remember adopting a report of Makueni County Social Protection Policy, yes or no?
Yes, Mr. Speaker, the reports are ready. It's only that just trying to catch up. Please give me more time.
Next order.
Order number 6, notices of motion.
Chairperson Committee on Environment and Climate Change to give a notice of motion on Monday. Chairperson Committee on Gender. There are two reports, Makueni Altapua Graduation Policy and Makueni County Social Protection Policy. You will lay papers and give a notice on Monday next week. Next order. Chairperson Selection Committee or notices.
Honorable Speaker, I beg to move the following motion that this Assembly adopts the second report of the Committee on Selection on the Harmonization of Assembly Committee Membership 2025, laid on the table of the Assembly on 25th June 2025. I request Honorable Jackson Balu to second me.
That's a notice of motion. You don't require a second. Next one.
Order number 7, statements.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Pursuant to the provisions of Standing Order 47-2A and 55 of the County Assembly Standing Orders, I rise to give a statement on the business of the County Assembly for the coming week. The following business has been tentatively scheduled to be transacted by the County Assembly in the coming week. Monday, 30th June 2025. 1. Response to the statement as was requested on 18th February 2025 by the member for Emali Mulala Ward regarding the delayed payment of plant operators in the county. 2. Response to the statement as was requested on 4th March 2025 by the member from Bitini Ward regarding the non-implementation of various road projects in Bitini Ward. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Delegated County Legislation on the Public Finance Management, County Assembly of Makueni, Catering and Health Services Scheme Fund Regulations 2024. 2. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Gender, Children, Youth, Sports and Social Services on Super Cup Guidelines and Structures. Tuesday, 1st July 2025, morning plenary statements. Response to the statement is requested on 12th March 2025 by the member for Emali Mulala Ward regarding the implementation status of all HQ projects since 2013. Response to the statement as was requested on 9th April 2025 by the member from Avendini Ward regarding the County Assembly and Executive Car Loan and Mortgage Fund. Motions. Motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Health Services on the delayed payment of hospital cash.
It's a statement requested by a member for Kumbuli South. And it's an additional response. Mr. Speaker, during the 34th sitting of the County Assembly held on Tuesday, 6th May 2025, the chairperson of the committee presented a response regarding the above statement for consideration. The response was termed not satisfactory as the status of the recruitment of the operator for the tractor was not provided by the ECM. The Honorable Speaker directed that the information regarding the status of the equipment of the operator and the operation of the tractor be available to the County Assembly within 7 days. Mr. Speaker, sir. Committee drew the attention of the ECM by a letter dated 6th May 2025, who responded through a letter dated 12th May 2025 and informed the committee as follows that the department submitted requirements for the tractor operator to the Makueni County Public Service Board through a letter dated 17th February 2025. The board, through a letter dated 24th April 2025, committed to deal with the matter in May 2025. The actual date of recruitment of the tractor operator is not within the control of the department. However, the department will provide a prompt response to the County Assembly. We also had a phone call to the ECM just the other day.
Conduct and behavior is leading to a general suspicion that either is lack of will from the committee or there is something we do not know. Honorable Kimongo, this is far too much.
Honorable Speaker, I guess before you became a speaker, one time you were the chief of staff. So you know that it is not a prerogative for departments to hire. They only make an intent to the board. And there is proof that that intent was done in the month of March.
Here you, Honorable Kimongo. Just order, Honorable members. Honorable Kimongo, I've ruled on that matter. Please don't take us around with adverts. We have employed before. We have just order. We have makeshifts. You cannot acquire a machine to help the farmers to till land to plant. And more than 2 years down the line, you're telling me that you are going around looking for a driver. We have officers who...
I think the thing is, the Speaker, sir, anyway, after walking with you through the town, I think
Followed by Chairperson Committee on Lands. Is the request by member from Lale Mali. Deferred. Chairperson Committee on Environment and Climate. Is the climate change. A statement by member for Nzabigli Kalamba Ward. Absent. Deferred. Member for Kikumini Muvao request for statement from Committee on Lands. Absent. Deferred. Chairperson Committee on Health Services to give a response to a statement issued by members of Nzambani Vingoni on 5th of May regarding Kambu Sub-County Hospital. Chairperson Committee on Water Irrigation to present a response as requested by member for Nzambani Vingoni Water regarding participation of Mzima. Chairperson Committee on Infrastructure and Transport to present a response as requested on 23rd of April by member from Nzambani Vingoni regarding complaints of Power Lighting Company on non-functional non-functional power lines in Nzambani Vingoni. Chairperson Committee on Lands to give a response to statement requested on 10th of March by member from Bonwood regarding grabbing of public utility in Kikima Market, and Chairperson Committee on Urban and Urban Planning to respond to a statement requested by member from Lale Mali. Deferred. Chairpersons, yes, just give us the excuse, we proceed.
No excuse. The statement is ready, but the tables cannot get the copy. I will give it to them.
You want that response in the next 5 minutes? Next. Chairperson Committee in Health Officers.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I hereby rise to give a response statement requested by Honorable Harrison, member of Vingoni Nzambani Ward, regarding the Kambu Sub-County Hospital. Mr. Speaker, the Honorable member highlighted that Kambu Sub-County Hospital is a high-traffic hospital owing to its strategic location adjacent to Mombasa Road, Highway, and Taita Taveta County. The hospital serves patients from entire Kibwezi East Sub-County and Taita Taveta County. Further, majority of accident victims on the highway are always attended at first at the facility before being transferred elsewhere, if need be. Mr. Speaker, the honorable member added that the facility lacks inpatient services due to the unavailability of inpatient block. This has hampered delivery of services, with patients having to be transferred to the Kibwezi Amref Hospital, which is costly, time-consuming, and crowding at the referral facilities. He mentioned that at times patients lose their lives at the stretch between the two hospitals, especially when the patients are critically ill. Mr. Speaker, sir, the honorable member requested the clarification of the following whether, number one, whether the department was aware of the hospital does not offer inpatient services due to lack of an inpatient block, considering it was sub-county level 4 hospital. 2, if yes, what action has the department taken to construct an inpatient block at the facilities, and what had been the challenges towards the implementation of such plans, if any? And 3C, when would the inpatient block be constructed, considering that the county government was doing the 25-26 budget? Mr. Speaker, sir, the Committee of the Services sought for a response on the issues raised from the County Department of Health Services in writing. Letter is quoted there. The Executive Committee member for Health Services responded via a letter responded there. Mr. Speaker, sir, the committee considered the response and hereby responds as follows. Number one, whether the department was aware that the hospital does not offer inpatient services due to lack of an inpatient block, considering it is a sub-county level 4 hospital. The Executive Committee member indicated that the department was aware that the hospital lacked an inpatient block. However, the hospital serves around 1,260 maternity inpatients per year. Further, he cited that the hospital was gazetted as a level 4 health facility in 2019 and serves a catchment population of 66,625 from within Kibwezi East Sub-County and neighboring Taita Taveta County. It operates on a 24-hour basis and has an average outpatient workload of 38,000. If yes, what action had the department taken to construct an inpatient block at the facility, and what have been challenges towards the implementation of such a plan, if any? The the executive committee member informed the committee that the department had partnered with the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day. Department had partnered with that church saints to put up an inpatient ward in the hospital. However, the partner made a requirement for the staff numbers to be increased in Chambeke and the Longoni hospitals, in which it had previously supported. This was to guarantee optimization of facility and had since been done in the discussion about Kambu Hospital resumed. C, what was the inpatient block being, when was the inpatient block being constructed, considering that the county government was doing 25-26 budget? The ECM indicated that the construction of the inpatient block shall be taken up by the partner as soon as the discussions above is concluded. He added that in the unlikely chance this doesn't succeed, the department will look for finances to operationalize the same. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member from Zabadi, you go on.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I have listened to the statement response. And Mr. Speaker, if you heard properly the way the response came through, is that this hospital was gazetted in 2019 as a level 4 hospital. Mr. Speaker, and I have the advantage to address you, you being a medical practitioner way before you became the Speaker, we both know that one of the requirements for an hospital to be gazetted as a level 4 hospital is for it to have an inpatient services. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I have heard that there is a partnership between LDS Church and the government of Makueni. One thing I know about that partner is that they are a very serious partner. I know our staffs in Dongoni and Chembeke has been employed. I would just request the chairperson committee on health services to follow up so that we can move with them, that if they've communicated to the partner that they've done the condition that we were given, so that as soon as possible, Kambu Hospital gets inpatient block. Mr. Speaker, you can imagine, right from Voi, there is no other inpatient hospital in between. From Voi all the way to Kambu, and again from Kambu all the way to Makindu, because what is in Kibwezi Amref is a makeshift. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, all efforts of this House, I beg that we put efforts together as a House and as a government to ensure that Kambu gets that inpatient. As such said, Mr. Speaker, I agree with the statement. I have no objection with it. I just hope that we follow up on the timelines given. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Member for Kikumburi Sodo.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I want also to agree with the Honorable Member for Ivingone, because Kibwezi is already congested. When you go to Kibwezi, we are congested. If the government could put some resources to have an inpatient block at Kambu, we would really appreciate, because Kibwezi is taking up patients from the whole of Kibwezi East and also Kitui South and also Kibwezi West. So it means we are really overcrowded. Sometimes when we go to the adult ward, Honorable Speaker, it's very pathetic. Sometimes we have 2-3 patients sharing a hospital bed, and you can imagine with the kind of structure we have at Kibwezi, whereby you cannot even tell where the male and female wards are. The only difference is when we have the maternity ward. The maternity ward is quite far from the other wards, but you cannot tell which one is male or female ward. Sometimes they are even lying on the floor. It becomes very pathetic, and I will not wish to be part of this kind of arrangement, to have a congested hospital while we have resources to do other hospitals. Honorable Speaker, that could also gradually give birth to the Ivingoni Hospital, which is in Mangelete. If we do the Cambo inpatient block within time, Honorable Speaker, that will also give us a lot of time for us to move to Ndongone where we can make those changes. Otherwise, Honorable Speaker, I wish the chair, because the chair understands these issues, he comes from Kibwezi, I think he can also help us in having this inpatient block at Cambo level 4 hospital. Thank you, Honorable Speaker.
Proceed.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, as members listen to this debate, Mr. Speaker, there's one item that I would wish that you put it into your own imagination and try to think about it. We have a facility called at Kamonyoni, which Honorable Mbalu knows very well, in Mtito ward. And we have a facility called in Ndongoni Hospital. Mr. Speaker, we've lost lives simply because having to ferry a critically ill person from those centers all the way to Kambo General Hospital, and they cannot be admitted, Mr. Speaker. They are referred to AMREF. We get to AMREF, AMREF is congested. They are referred to Makendo, Mr. Speaker, and before it, that person loses life.
Issue and bring this in form of a report. Mr. Speaker, because we put 4.5 million for that tank. If you look the kind of repairs that have taken for the last 7 months, and yet we have never used that tank, it was being put water, it leaks. They go in, put bitumen, it leaks. So it is more what Kiswahili they say ukarabati. It means it was being done by people who are not professionals. And so, Mr. Speaker, to safeguard the people, I would really request that the Committee of Water handles that issue and bring a report so that at least we do not pay this contractor immediately before the report comes, Mr. Speaker, because there is fear. The way they have handled that tank, there is a lot. It means there is a lot of structural operations which were not handled well, Mr. Speaker, because it's not normal for a tank to be built 100 of July, almost, it is being repaired. Yet we had not used. So, Mr. Speaker, this House stands to protect the community's money so that a contractor is not paid and things fail. That 4.5 million must be safeguarded before it is being paid to the contractor until the report is filed here and satisfactorily, Mr. Speaker, approved. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Chairperson, I direct that you present a report within the next 14 days in view of that statement with finding and recommendations.
Mr. Speaker, kindly.
Honorable Mbat.
Mr. Speaker, put a caveat on the department. If you don't put, they will go on and pay the contractor. Kindly.
Chairperson, pending hearing and determination of this matter, the contractor not to be paid. Pending hearing determination and the report.
In pricing, which will make water too costly to both domestic residential users and schools and government institutions. For instance, the current water tariffs for domestic or residential users are 350 shillings for every 0 to 6 units consumed, and now 440 for 7 units consumed. In the new tariffs, billing will be per unit at 113 shillings per unit, meaning consuming 6 units will attract a fee of 678 shillings, while 7 units will cost 813. This representing a percentile increase of 94% and 85% respectively. Honorable Speaker, the current costing of water at bowsing points and water kiosks are at 90 shillings and 35 shillings per unit respectively. In the new tariffs, the same will now cost 135 shillings and 53 shillings per unit respectively. This representing a percentile increase of 50% and 52% respectively. Honorable Speaker, that is the matters to do with the bowsing, where the middle class will use this, Honorable Speaker. The lower class will use the other tariff, which was increased by 94% as per my statement. 94% and 85% respectively. Honorable Speaker, for schools, the current tariffs are such that for 0 to 600 units cost 90 shillings per unit. Then from 601 units, to 1,200 units will cost 105 shillings per unit, and more than 1,200 units, it will cost 115 shillings per unit. This is the category of schools, like our biggest school in Kaloleni Boys High School, where we can consume more than 1,200 units, Honorable Speaker, per month, which will cost 158 shillings per unit, and more than 1,200 units will cost 173 shillings per unit. This representing percentile increases of 50% and 51% respectively. Honorable Speaker, during public participation forums held in Machinery Town, Makindu Town, and Kibwezi Township, the stakeholders resolved with the Kibmasco that all the proposed tariff increases should not go beyond 50% of the current rates in all categories. However, this was not adhered to, more so in the residential and domestic rates, Honorable Speakers. I have also indicated where the lower cadre people are lying. Honorable Speaker, the chairperson should therefore clarify the following. One, whether the department is aware that the tariffs adjustments by Kimasco. Two, if yes, whether the department was involved and the factors which were used in arriving at the new tariffs. Honorable Speaker, you understand Kimasco is a water service provider licensed by the Minister for Finance, who is the head of Treasury. So the head of Treasury is the owner of that company. So it means the company is run by the county. So they delegate some power to the MD who runs day-to-day work of that water service provider. Three, why the structure of payment for domestic or residential water was changed from the current clustered method to per unit billing, Honorable Speaker. They need to explain, because people are used to the standard where between 0 and 6 units, that is the figure. We expected the same to transition into the next billing structure. Number four, the actions the Kibmasco and the department have taken to address the protests of the new tariffs by the consumers of the affected areas. And the last one, number six, whether the new tariffs will be reviewed to reflect the views of the stakeholders as agreed upon during the public participation forums, and when the same will be done. Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, there is a big outcry in the area which is being served by this water service provider, and I know you are privy to this because you are a member of that community, and people have been crying to the leadership and also the company to make some amends so that people do not feel the big impact of the new tariffs. Thank you, Honorable Speaker, and I wish to thank you for giving me an opportunity to have that supplementary paper on.
Chairperson.
Mr. Speaker, I hear the sentiments of our seasoned member. In that matter, the minority leader. And I would wish to request for 3 weeks. We shall give serious answers to his request.
Fair enough. You are requesting for 21 days. I'm directed that you do it in 14 days. Honorable members, I direct we proceed to the next order. The rest of the business and the statement is deferred to next week. Another supplementary order paper.
Order number 22, procedural motion, waiving notice period.
Leader of the majority party.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the following motion, that notwithstanding the provision of Standing Order 65B, this Assembly resolves to waive the notice period on the motion for adoption of the second report of the Committee on Selection on the Harmonization of Assembly Committee Membership 2025, appearing on the order paper under order number 23. I call upon the Leader of Minority to second this procedural motion.
Order, members. I propose a question that notwithstanding the provision of standing order number 60, paragraph 5B, this is simply resolved to waive the notice period. The motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Selection on the harmonization of the Assembly Committee membership 2025 appearing in the order paper under order number 23. Floor is open. Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. For the record, I call the leader of minority due to his position in the Assembly Business Committee. Thank you.
Honorable members, I put the question that notwithstanding provision of standing order number 60, paragraph 5B, this is simply resolved to waive the notice period on the motion for the adoption of the report of the Committee on Selection on the harmonization of the Assembly Committee membership 2025, appearing on the order paper under order number 23. Will as many as of our opinion say aye? Will as many as of our contrary opinion say nay? There is have it. Next order.
Order number 23, motion, the report of the Committee on Selection on the harmonization of Assembly Committee membership 2025 laid on the table of the Assembly 25th June 2025.
Mover of the motion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker. I beg to move the following motion, that this Assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Selection on the harmonization of Assembly Committee membership 2025 laid on the table of the Assembly on 25th June 2025. Honorable Speaker, the Makueni County Assembly Committee on Selection is established under the Makueni County Assembly Standing Orders 208, and which says there shall be a select committee to be designated selection committee consisting of the leader of the majority party, leader of the minority party, not less than 5 and not more than 7 members who shall be nominated by the County Assembly parties and approved by the County Assembly. The Committee on Selection shall nominate members to serve in committees save for the membership of the County Assembly Business Committee and the Committee on Appointments. Honorable Speaker, following this mandate of the committee met and made the following recommendations to harmonize committees for better service delivery to the people of Makueni. The committee recommended to change the composition of 6 committees in the Assembly, and the first committee is the County Public Accounts Committee, which the membership is proposed to be Bernard Tivo, the membership of the Public Accounts Committee is proposed to be Bernard Mutua Tivo, Elizabeth Mudike Moli, Elizabeth Mutindi Keo, Eric Musioki Katumo, Jonathan Kimongo, Masindinda Mutuku, Mudhiani Mwangangi, Albanas Yulu Manzu, and Harrison Mwanzia Mutie. The delegated county legislation, the proposed membership is Bernard Mutua, Brian Zoka, Elizabeth Kawembe, Esther Ngila, Jonathan Kimongo, Jonathan Musioki, Joseph Bindio, Chalo Mumo, Mudhiani Mwangangi, Honorable Sebastian Munguti, Honorable Stephen Zivo, and Honorable James Kalunda Muema. The Committee of Gender, Children, Youth, Sports, and Social Services, the proposed membership is Honorable Alexander Mwanzia Masila, Honorable Felix Mateso, Honorable Daniel Kivuva Musau, Honorable Elizabeth Musau Kieo, Honorable Katumo Eric, Honorable Francis Mwanyamulwa, Honorable Janet Mukali Kitunga, Honorable Jennifer Kamande Mwandi, Honorable Josephine Muasa, Honorable Kennedy Maneno, Honorable Martin Gusi, and Honorable Joseph Mwema Mudheni. The Committee of Environment and Climate Change, the proposed membership is Elizabeth Mutindi Keo, Viameta Mwikali Ndunda, Harrison Mutie, Jonathan Kimongo, Jonathan Muthoka, Justus Mwema Mwanzia, Magdalene Dukomolwa, Albanas Chalo Wambua, and Honorable Chalo Mumo. On the Committee on Selection, the proposed membership is Fiameta Mwikali Ndunda, Francis Munyao Mutuku, Jackson Mwema Mbalu, James Mwema Kalunda, Janet Mwikali Kitunga, Joyce Joyce Mwende Wambua, Misha Kalimu Dambuki, Kisungi Wakatete, and Honorable Mudhiani Mwangangi. Lastly is the Committee on Implementation, where the proposed membership is Daniel Kivuba Musau, Honorable Jonathan Kimongo Muunda, Honorable Jonathan Mwoki Mwaniki, Justus Mwema Mwanzia, Honorable Sarah Ndukumbilo, Honorable, and Honorable Chalo Mumo. Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, this is the proposed composition of those 6 committees. We have not changed the other committees, but depending on the conditions and the service delivery to the people of Makueni, we may sit again and probably look again into these committees. So I take this opportunity to thank all members of the Committee on Selection for their commitment and invaluable contribution during the harmonization exercise. The committee also takes this opportunity to thank the officers of the Speaker and the Clerk of the County Assembly for the technical support according to it during the harmonization and report writing exercise. It's my pleasure to present the committee report and recommend that this Assembly approves the amendments of the Makueni County Assembly committees as proposed in this report. Honorable Speaker, I call upon Honorable Jackson Balu to second this motion.
Honorable members, I propose a question that the Assembly adopt the report of the Committee on Selection on the harmonization of the Assembly Committee membership 2025 laid on the table of the Assembly on 25th of June 2025. The floor is open for debate. Member from Maviri.
Honorable Speaker, thank you. Honorable Speaker, I oppose this motion with the strongest words on earth and in heaven. Simply because I would wish, I guess, and I don't guess I'm right, that the chair did not submit proof of the committee meeting having met, the committee having met to adopt this report and to come up with it. We have members of that committee from the opposition. We have the 3 members from Muungano Party. We have Honorable Mwema representing the extreme minorities. I don't know about Honorable Balu, but I know about those 4. They were not invited, they were not present, they were not part of it. That aside, I can feel that these changes are done out of an aspect of malice or punishment. But let me remind ourselves that some of us who are in the second assembly, we had members who had abrogated themselves the duty of chief principal in this assembly. Whenever requisitions were meant, they are the ones who would approve. You would see them say, pay this, don't pay this. Pay this, don't pay this. Today, that clique of members is rotting in the villages. They only see this house in the media. I want to remind ourselves that the way up is the way down. The way we should handle matters of conflict and disagreement and divergence is not to remove members from committees. It is not to throw them under the bus. There are better ways we can deal with this divergence of opinions. And as such, I say we are heading in the wrong direction as an assembly. I know and I attest that some of the members have been somehow not so much consistent with probably with their political persuasion and so forth. And as the saying goes, you host the piper calls a tune. But from where I sit, we can do things better. The very reason why I say that these changes were not done in the interest of the good of the Assembly and the people of Makueni. I take an example of the Committee on Park. A member, very active member, very resourceful member, the Honorable Member for Emali Mulala, who was my vice chair, has been removed. Replaced by my party colleague, the Honorable Manzia. By Manzia being my friend, I can say cannot match Honorable Kaleli. Manzia is an absentee member in this house. If we were to follow the law, Manzia would have gone home. There are times he misses more than the 8 sittings that are required.
Point of order, Mr. Speaker.
So, replacing him in a very busy committee like that one.
Order, Kimongo. What is the point of order, member from Zamani Vegonwood?
Mr. Speaker, it's very unfortunate, Mr. Speaker, that ranking member of this House, Mr. Speaker, can attack me directly. And I'm just seated here. Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I think I need to remind this ranking member that I was the Deputy Speaker in the last term for 5 years. I know all the standing orders. I know all the provisions of law, Mr. Speaker. And I know that I am a member here, and there is any provision I have ever floated ever since the second term started. And therefore, Mr. Speaker, I find this member, or else I plead with you, that you find this member out of order. Because, Mr. Speaker, the records speak for themselves, and I am rightly here, and I have never floated a law. I am very keen when it comes to law. Thank you. And further, Mr. Speaker, when he says I cannot match Kaleli, as far as performance is concerned, and especially on a committee that touches on Public Accounts Committee, Mr. Speaker, I would wish to advise this member that over and above being an accountant, over and above being an auditor, certified, Mr. Speaker, there is no way in any, professional way that I would imagine that Honorable Kaleli can outmatch me. However, Mr. Speaker, I owed a lot of respect for my colleague, Honorable Kaleli, being in that committee. But, Mr. Speaker, that remark from Kimongo, Mr. Speaker, if he wants us to take that route, Mr. Speaker, I am ready, day and night. Thank you.
Honorable Felix Bataso.
Honorable Speaker, the words by Honorable Kimongo are demeaning this House, Mr. Speaker. Because, Mr. Speaker, he has mentioned that there was a clique in the last assembly that used to account for whatever will happen, and it went home. And is he trying to insinuate that the select committee who have done these changes are going home? And who is he to determine who is supposed to go home and who is supposed to remain? Because, Mr. Speaker, I find that not a good language, Mr. Speaker. Because we think each committee has its mandate, and we need to allow each committee to do its work, Mr. Speaker. So, Mr. Speaker, it should not demean this House. Allow committees to do their work, Mr. Speaker. Thank you.
Can I respond? Thank you, Honorable Speaker. Let me start with my member for my good friend here. Indeed, I can attest that the Honorable Mutia is very brilliant. In fact, his brilliance and eloquence can only match mine. He's a very brilliant man. In terms of a presentation of things, these are a National Assembly material. And he's very astute in matters finance and accounting. But my line of thought and presentation was not on the capacity to execute the real business. And that's why I mentioned the issue of attendance. Honorable Mutia, I don't know whether for what reason, everybody knows that he's an absentee member. He rarely comes to for meetings. So for me to get to get a member whom we're going to be struggling to get quorum, we had rather get a silent member who does not know so much of that finance, but he will be there, as opposed to a member who is very sharp, but will only come once in a blue moon. On the issue that Honorable...
What is it, Honorable Bishop? Order member for Mavindini. Point of order from the Honorable member for Milima.
You could find this member becoming a rogue member, and we deal with him according to the standing orders, because it's unfortunate if an honorable member and a seasoned member will repeat same information. When you look at standing order number 127, subsection F, giving false information to the House can lead to grave disorder for this member. When the member says the honorable member from Zambani has been, if it was to look at the records, it should be at home. First, is portraying the speaker to be not true and not actually professional fit on his job. Yet we know we have very professional speaker who sits on that chair as a chair. Two, he is making this house look like we are liars.
What is out of order, Honorable member from Ilema?
If it was, I quote him right, if it was to consider the number of days Honorable Mutia has been in this house, and he has repeated the same words, Honorable Mutia would not be in this house. That portrays the speaker to be not actually serious with his work. Two.
Thank you. Your point is made. I want the member from Mavindini to respond to the point of order. The other things you're giving me is a debate now. Don't want to allow debate.
Very ready, very ready. Honorable Speaker, the standing orders talk about 8 sittings. 1 week is 4 sittings. There are times this member disappears for more than 2 weeks.
Member from Mavindini, do you have facts? Honorable member from Mavindini, do you have facts that this member has disappeared for more than 2 weeks? Can you table any facts before this House and evidence?
Mr. Speaker, I may not have the facts, but that's the truth.
You cannot. Honorable member from Mavindini. Member from Mavindini, you cannot impute improper motive on a member without facts. We do not say you are not factual, but you must bring the facts and evidence for you to impute that the member for Ivingoni is an absentee member in this House. So if you do not have facts and evidence, I will implore you to apologize and withdraw. Then we continue with this debate.
Honorable Speaker, we have, Honorable Chair, we have committee attendance lists and the plenary attendance lists to confirm that. And even without that, we all know, and he knows.
Member for Mavindini. Order, member for Mavindini. Standing order 111. I don't want to ask to go to the route that we went, but standing order 111 says, a member shall be responsible for the accuracy of any facts which the member alleges to be true and may be required to substantiate any such facts instantly. So I want you to substantiate instantly how the member for Ivingoni is an absentee member in his county assembly. If you cannot, the standing orders allow you to withdraw and apologize. And if you cannot do that, then the standing order will also take its course. Member for Mavindini, I implore you, produce evidence that the member for Ivingoni is an absentee member. If you do not have any facts to that effect, please withdraw your sentiments and apologize.
Honorable Lady Speaker, I may run short of the proof. And since the burden of proof is on me, and I may not have the latitude to go at the depth of the matter, my conviction is that I can fight another day. In the circumstances, I withdraw and apologize. Bring on the other point of order. I'm ready.
You had not finalized debate. You can now finalize your debate.
I had got so many interruptions from, but anyway, I had made my point that we are doing things in the wrong manner. Let us look for ways of disciplining members or whipping members to line, but not to remove them from committees and not to whip them from responsibilities. That is not the right way to do. And there is a God in heaven, and we are here out of privilege and out of the will of God. And that same God who brought some of those members whom we are trying to cascade and to throw them under the bus is the same God who brought us here, is the same God who will cry to bring us here in 2027. Having said that, I rest my case.
The minority whip.
Thank you, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I stand to oppose the report. Madam Speaker, when we were elected and also nominated to this House, there is one thing that I want us to remind ourselves, that for the 5 years that we are here, Madam Speaker, to build ourselves. And we are here knowing that, Madam Speaker, thank you.
Yeah, proceed. I was seated here. You started by opposing. The speaker is one. There is no deputy. I need to remind the member from Mavindini.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, I was on a point that being elected and also nominated to this House, Mr. Speaker, we are here to build ourselves. And we are here progressively looking at the future. And I want to believe that, Mr. Speaker, that all the members who are here, they are able to climb the ladder. And one day, it may not come as a surprise that members who are in this House, they can grow to be members of the National Assembly, members of the Senate, and also great people who can take lead in our nation. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, as I stand here as a minority party whip, I can see there was some minutes that were written. The meeting that was held at 10:30 today, that is on 25th June. And if, Mr. Speaker, I'm not wrong, before the meeting is convened, there must be an invitation from the clerk. And that should be done some hours earlier so that all the members in the committee, and in particular, the committee in question, can come together, discuss issues, and have a way forward. And I'm also worried, Mr. Speaker, how can members come convene a meeting, and then the members who are present, majority of them are actually not in the house, but to my surprise, if it were a good thing, invitation, notification is not a wrong thing, Mr. Speaker. And therefore, as a minority party whip, I see it good that the chair can as well convene another meeting, and then we get invitations through the clerk, and then we sit down and look at these issues. The issues of removing members and also inserting members in various committees, I tend to think that the whip should as well possess the names to be inserted and the names to be removed. Therefore, as I stand here, Mr. Speaker, I have no name that actually I presented the committee, and the interchange that was done as by those committees, Mr. Speaker, it is out of my knowledge. And therefore, having said that, Mr. Speaker, allow me to say this, that in the 5 years that God is going to give us to be here, we are not here to pin anybody down. In fact, we may act as human beings, but there is also God who is in heaven, and that God always looks at us. And that God is actually the God who propels leaders to higher levels. Therefore, I find this right, Mr. Speaker, that you guide that the committee sees out again, and then together we come up with a report that actually is good for all the members in this house. And if that goes well, Mr. Speaker, we have only 2 years to go. And the 2 years to go, only God knows who will come back, who will not come back. But my prayer is that may God grant all the members in this house to come back. That is my prayer. And if that stands to be my prayer, why don't we agree that we are brothers, we are sisters, and what we are doing as a team, let it be a motivational factor to all the members. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Point of order, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I seek to know whether the House, whether we are in order to execute business emanating from a committee on a list of membership to committees, whereas the standing orders clearly stipulate that the party whips will forward the names of the membership to the selection committee, and the whip for the minority is clearly alluding that it didn't send any name to the selection committee. Honorable Speaker, I find that the motion before us is irregular. And Honorable Speaker, at that point, let me say something. It is not my norm to dress like this. I was not coming to Bunge today, but I was called with a lot of urgency. And on reaching here, I was given a coat You see this tie that looks like a primary school tie? And there was some kind of an urgency. In my imaginations, I thought that probably the appropriation bill that we did yesterday had an issue. So I came running like a mad person. I didn't know that this was what was bringing us here in that kind of an urgency. Mr. Speaker, I find that we are out of order to discuss this motion as at this time for the very purpose of what the whip for the minority has said. Thank you.
Any other member to contribute? Honorable Elizabeth Muri.
Honorable Speaker, I stand to support the motion. And in support of the motion, I have listened to the leader of majority when he moved the motion that it was in the better operations of the county assembly. I sympathize with the member for Mavindini, who is my chairperson PAC. But I also want to remind him that at one point last year, he left me with Honorable Njoi seated in a committee that he chaired as the chair PAC and came to this house and voted me out as a member of PAC. If that day he would have spoken the way he have spoken today, I would
Point of
have
order,
been a
point
very
of order,
happy man.
point of order, Honorable Speaker, point of order.
So,
point of order.
I am also a very good member of that committee, but that day you do not remember that I was a very competent and always present. But you came here, voted me, and you left me in that committee room, still doing interrogations. So that could indicate, and you were together with your vice chair then.
Honorable Elizabeth, address the speaker.
So, Honorable Speaker, I want to say I support, but then for people to feel offended, it's normal. And I want to say that the members that have replaced the outgoing members will still perform. They are members of this county assembly. I have no problem with membership. Even when I was removed from committees, I did not complain. Because that time I thought the leadership of my party felt that I could not perform in the committees that they had taken out of me. So I did not complain. And that is why today I serve also in committees. Later I got reinstated in those committees because anyway, whether political or not political, the House has to move and has to keep on moving. And again, Speaker, this is a house of politics. It's always good also to balance your politics. As a person, that is why we have a majority and a minority. I am a member of the majority party, and I behave as a member of the majority party. If you are a member of the minority party, it's also good to remain a member of the minority party, and it's also good to respect each other. You do not have to, as a member, because everybody has their rights. From where I sit, I respect members from both divides. And that is why I voted by the Committee on Selection, unless otherwise proven. So, Honorable Speaker, I support.
Point of information, Honorable Speaker. Allow that I inform that good member of mine.
According to the word of God in the book of Romans, chapter 13, verse 1, it says, every leadership comes from God. And the subjects, we should be ready to support any leader who has been appointed by the authorities prescribing to that. Now, Mr. Speaker, sir, when we came to this house, all members came as number ones, having passed the exam of test from their respective wards. So there is no member who can stand and say, so and so cannot serve in so and so committee. Because we are all equal by the fact that we are MCAs number ones from every ward. When you go to the standing orders, which speaks about the Committee on Selection, subsection 2, says, and there shall be a selection committee who shall appoint or put members in various committees. It is only in the first instance of placement where the whips will be asked to prescribe or present members depending on their interests. But immediately the committees are instituted, the Committee on Selection professionally is vested with the authority to look at the committees, evaluate their performance, look at individuals, evaluate their performance, and place them where they feel they can execute to the latter. So I want to challenge my seasoned friend, my namesake, that it is not the prerogative of the whips to give members after the first institution of the committees. Their own going on. It means then the committees are going to be micromanaged by the whips. The Committee on Selection is mental professionals, people who know their mandate, instituted by this house. In this context, let them execute their work. And from there, we shall be able to continue well because all members are equal and they can serve anywhere. Even if you put me in which committee, actually at first I was put as delegated, which was not even a sectoral committee, and I never complained. And I performed with this Kilong modern member from Mavindini. He was my member, and we support one another. There's no committee which one cannot serve. I don't see the point of opposing. So to me, I think, let us support this motion, and then we move on as a house. Nobody knows where the talent of the other one is. Two, about who is going to come. Our God is a gracious God. The same way you came here, some of us even did not have resources. Some of us even did not even know that the chance is going to be there. Tomorrow, nobody knows. Let us not speak as if we were with God yesterday and today we are with him. Tomorrow we are going to be with him. Everybody has the equal grace to stand before God, be appointed, be respected, be put in place, and things move on. So, Mr. Speaker, sir, let us support this motion and allow members to serve, and we shall see how things goes. If it doesn't go well, they go ahead and again sit down, change things. My honorable member was changed from agriculture. He has never died. He's still moving on, and life is going on, and he's still here, smart and smiling. What's the big deal, this? Thank you, Mr. Speaker, sir.
What about Major Leader, were you on a point of order?
Yes, Honorable Speaker. I wanted the member to substantiate because he said the selection committee and the House Business Committee never met. And I don't think he was in that meeting, or I don't think he qualifies to know if those committees met. So probably, because we called him when he was doing demonstrations at Mavindini town. I don't know if he was in this assembly, how he knew that there was no meeting, because I can confidently, as a member of those committees, I can confidently tell you that we met, and I can also confidently tell you probably some people were not called because we were in doubt if they were around or in State House, so we could not know where they were. So we called the people who were around this assembly and who are committed to the cause of the Kamba people.
Information, Speaker. Honorable Speaker, allow that I respond.
Minority Whip.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. Mr. Speaker, allow me to say this because I want to inform the House that today, some minutes to 10, Mr. Speaker, I was here, and Mr. Speaker, that does not permit me to say that I was here, but Mr. Speaker, before any committee sits, and for this matter, the selection committee, that I am the whip of the minority. somebody may not call you, but a message of notification that you are going to have a meeting on such and such a time, that does not come from the members of the committee. It is the responsibility of the clerk of that committee to give members notification that we are going to have a meeting. And for this matter, Mr. Speaker, I did not get any invitation or notification of a meeting. And Mr. Speaker, unless now the standing orders changed, the whip has the responsibility to whip the members from the committees. And for this issue that is very weighty, I don't see the reason as to why a few members can meet and assume that the whip of the minority party is actually assumed of his responsibility. Therefore, Mr. Speaker, I stand to inform the House that I was not aware, no notification, nothing that I can stand and say I was invited to the committee. Thank you, Mr. Speaker.
Honorable Speaker, I can dare say that today